Hey everybody, hey everybody. Guys, we are here back from holiday and we are ready to airbrush. Now I know that some of you may have received an airbrush for the holiday, and hopefully you've been watching some of these and you are ahead of schedule and you know what to do. But that's why we cover, every time we do these lives, we cover airbrushing. We cover the basics. We cover the beginnings. We cover everything from start to finish. And we show you different foundations. Good morning, or different products. Good morning, Martin. How are you? Happy holidays. And so we do like to go over the starter kit, the beginnings. Hey, Veronica. Hey, Debbie. Good to see you. But we always go over the beginning. So let's cover that. And we will, let's see. This is one of our starter kits. This is the Icon. We also have the Icon Pro and the Legend. And then we also have the Breeze, which is our newest one, which is cordless and chargeable. It all comes with makeup. Now, you may have received some that have extra products or some fun, other things, maybe gift with purchase. And we have, but it all will come with 2 bottles of foundation and Love and Blush. And then our blush is super high pigmented. A little bit goes a long way. So you're only going to use about 1 drop, 1 or 2 drops, and that's it. And then this is what we want you to do when you start practicing. You'll get your system out, turn it on. There's air that comes out. And so just watch yourself in the mirror, move that stylus around, and make sure you're keeping it that 4 finger widths away from your face. So every so often when you're watching yourself, just check and that 4 fingers, okay? And then make sure that you're lightly pulling back on the trigger, super light. If you are not making these moves to airbrush the correct way, guys, then you're not going to love it. It's not going to do what we say it's going to do. And so you're not going to love it. And so make sure you do practice and make sure you are doing it the correct way. Always come back and ask questions. This is a live, so I can see questions. I can, we can answer them right there. If it's a product and I don't have it, we'll do it the next time. And so, we always do whatever you guys need me to do to make sure you love this product. You can also click the links below in the description or the bio that show you. There's a link and it'll say classes. We have small group classes that you can also sign up for. And I'll go into a little more detail and really answer those questions for you. So, all right. Denise, let me know about your foundation match. I had a wonderful Christmas. It was great to spend it with family. I love it. I love it. I love it. And then let's see. Hey, Jeannie. Hey, Cindy. Denise on Facebook says that she's like, Merry Christmas. I have questions about my foundation match. So let me know, Denise, let me know. But I am going to get started. And let's see, what do I want to use today? What do I want to use today? Might do that. That might be a good thing to do. I'm going to be using our blush, but I'm actually going to mix 2 blushes together. Hey, Lynn, how are you? And here's my foundation. And I will be using the Rose foundation, and the Rose foundation is medium to full coverage. Now, a lot of you may have got the Silk Enhanced formula, and that is sheer to medium coverage. But I personally would stick with the Silk and the Rose. They have an extended shade line of 18 instead of 12. They are more neutral, and they both have anti-aging properties in them, so it's going to help with your skin. Now, with the Rose, if you're looking for a clean, vegan-free formula, then the Rose is going to be your shade. Now, the difference with full coverage airbrush is that if you're airbrushing the right way, it's still not going to look heavy or cakey. Some people think, oh, if it's full coverage, then I'm going to look, like done up, and I'm going to look like I have makeup on. And that's not the case. That's not the case when we're talking airbrush, because if you're airbrushing the correct way, then it doesn't matter what you're doing or, you know, what finish or whatever, you will, it will be a natural look. Sorry, I was a little bit distracted because I want to, okay, here it is. But you know what I think I'm going to do is to show you can mix formulas as well. I'm going to do this. Can you do a refresh on rose gold? Sure, Jeannie. I'll do that on Wednesday. We can talk about the luminizers on Wednesday. Let me write that down because we know my memory. Luminizers. Because tomorrow we're going to be doing we're going to be doing half face natural or traditional makeup, and then the other half airbrush. So I'm going to do luminizers on Wednesday. Live in the photo confessions. All Betty Boop. You did a Betty Boop, Marilyn? Okay, so Denise responded, I'm in the middle of my Breeze trial. Love it. Yay! But the first set of trial foundations made me look orange. That tells me one thing. I was in a new set of the Rose 02 and 05. I'm not orange, but the coverage is still not full. Tells me another thing. I have a brown age spot on my cheek that is still hard to cover. The rep spoke, no. The rep spoke to this morning, and I just got some Mystic. Yeah, no. Denise signed up for Wednesday. Okay, good. Good. The Wednesday noon class, awesome. Oh, you got Betty Boop stuff for Christmas. Oh, I love it. I love that, Marilyn. Good morning, Luminess. I'm like, everybody's like, okay, I haven't even been able to start my makeup. So as we're talking, I'm actually going to start with the 020 in Silk foundation, and I'm using this as my pre-coverage, okay? So, Denise and everybody else out there, number one, if you get this home and you feel like it's not your shade, we can extend that trial period for you. So don't worry about that. Like, we want to make sure you're experiencing it with the products that are going to work for you. So don't think that we have to, I have to hurry up and do this and do this and do this. Our customer service is amazing, and they will help you, and we can extend that trial period for you. Denise, this is another thing I can talk to you about on Wednesday since you signed up. And then I also want to, we'll also talk about coverage, but the one thing, like, with our customer service is great, and I love that they're sending you some product. But again, I would stick between Silk and our Rose foundation. Again, extended line. So you have 1 through 18, and they're more neutral in shades. With the Mystic and all the other ones, you only have 12 shades. So you might not be the same shade. And you're going to have to we'll have to adapt for the yellow and the pink undertones. Okay. I don't want to confuse you anymore if that's like, what? That's why I'm saying stick with the Rose or stick with the Silk, depending on your coverage. And so we'll talk about that. Coverage also happens by making light passes. How you're putting this on is in light passes. When I hear orange or it was wet, those words tell me you're spraying too hard. Okay, so I have my shade 2 in Silk in my system, and I'm going to use it for my pre-coverage. Now I'm going to start under my eyes. I start my movement, barely pulling back on that trigger. And as soon as I feel that coolness of the makeup, you're going to feel coolness of the air, but you're going to feel coolness of the makeup once it's released, but it's a coolness. It doesn't feel wet. I'm going to do a little bit on my lids, cover my nose. And then that's one pass. When I say hit those problem areas. I don't mean, so if you have a sunspot, if you have acne, I'm not saying just go, I'm saying hit those areas, make those passes. Now I will want more coverage underneath my eyes and a little more step up in coverage. So I'm going to go back and make a pass. You go back and make passes until you get the coverage that you want. Now dealing in free coverage, I don't have to cover it 100% because I still have my blush. I still have my foundation to put on. And because we're not touching our face, it's not being wiped away. Okay. And your stylist is going to blend everything for you. So oh, good. She did extend it. Okay, good. But Denise, the chances are you have the correct shades in the silk, because if you got shades 3 and 4 and they sent you 2 and 5, you have the shades. Because honestly, with my face and my skin, I could use a 2, a 3, a 4, and I could possibly get away with a 5, but not making a lot of passes. I feel like I'm going into a lot of depth. So if you're just starting out, guys, I always tell people when you're first starting out, practice and just get the foundation down, because once you get the hint of airbrushing or the art of airbrushing, it doesn't matter what's in your stylus or your breeze, you know what to do. Okay, because you'll know how it works. Another great way of doing this is take a foundation that maybe isn't your shade or not one that you think is yours, and put 8 drops in your stylus, in your foundation well, close it, start in one spot and make those passes, moving your stylus, staying 4 finger widths away, lightly pulling back on that trigger. And I want you to see how many passes you can make with 8 drops. All right. How many passes do you think you would make with 8 drops? Okay, I am mixing natural blush and our soft rose blush together. So I have both of my blushes in here, starting it. And here we go. So now, because I'm doing my blush, I can come in a little bit closer. And remember, we're moving our blush up a little bit. So I start my movement. Now I'm going to go to the other side. I'm going to give a break to each side. Because we're doing what's called a blush contour. So I'm raising my blush up just a little bit, doing it at my temples. Thank you. And see how it's starting to, it's starting to bloom a little bit. That's what our blush does, okay? It will intensify a little bit more. Now, the natural blush, what you see is what you get normally. I mean, it's not going to intensify much. But the rose, the plum, all of those others will come up a little bit more. But you can mix a drop of your foundation. You can mix a drop of your of love in with your foundation. In with your blush to make it a little bit easier. I like putting my blush on first, because that way, if it does get too intense, if it does get a little bit too much, it's okay, because now I'm going to put on my foundation, which I'm almost out of. I need to get some more of this. I can do my foundation and it's all going to blend for me. So taking this, I'm going to put 5 drops. Okay, I'm not getting answers. How many full, and when I say passes, I mean full passes, under the eyes, forehead, cheeks, everything. How many passes do you think you will be able to make with 8 drops? Lynn, you're retiring to the Philippines. Wow, girl. So you should, if unopened foundations, you're looking at about 2 years. Okay. You're looking for about 2 years. Okay. Denise says 2 to 3 passes. Cindy says 5 to 6. Marilyn says 5. Jeannie says 3. Martin says 5. And yes, with 8 drops, you should be able to make 4 to 5 passes. If you have a breeze, you're looking at 4 to 5. If you have this, you're looking at about 5 or 6. Okay. So that's how many passes. If you're not there yet, don't worry. Just know that you're going to get there. Every time you have this in your hand, you're learning. Okay. Let me make sure I don't have my blush coming out. Exact. Debbie says 5 to 6. So see how I'm making my passes. The moves are very deliberate. So it's not a free for all. You're not, blah, 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 blah. I'm going in, I'm making my passes. Moves are very soft, not fast. You don't have to race. Now, most of my passes are going to be right in here. I don't need the same amount on my forehead and chin as I do right in here. I want to make sure that under my eyes is blended. My blush is a little bit softer. Now, because I had the shade 2 on as pre-coverage and I had my blush on, that still gave me some coverage. So with the foundation, I don't have to do as many drops because I did get some coverage with those other products. Does that make sense? All right, going to the Nude and Naughty, which should be everybody's go-to if you don't know what to do for that day. Get another paper towel. But guys, if you're doing more than that, don't worry. Just know that that's something you're going to get to. But like if I say with 8 drops, you're going to make 5 to 6 passes and you're making 2 or 3, then that's showing you that you're pulling back too hard on the trigger. One way to check that out is put about 5 drops in your foundation well and airbrush a paper towel. You really will get to see, because what'll happen, it clicks in your brain. You're like, oh, I didn't even think I was pulling back on that trigger and something's coming out. And so that is a great way to visualize it, because we do have to think airbrush, think LUMINESS versus traditional makeup. Traditional makeup, we're used to seeing it. And with airbrush makeup, you're not. It should just be magic. All right, I am going to go in with kind of a neutral shade on my lid first. And I'm going to start right here on the inside corner and just lightly tap the color out. And I always like tapping. You know how I like tap it out, tap it out. I always like tapping, then pulling on the eyes or the face, period. Now, the one thing when you're dealing with anything shimmer, it does have, sometimes it'll have more of a tendency to flake a little bit or have some fallout. So tapping it into place will definitely help you with that. So I just did a little bit of lightness there, and then taking, what am I going to take? I'm going to take this kind of a red, terracotta red brown. And I'm going to lightly start in my crease, start on the outside corner, because the first place I put my brush is where most of that makeup's going to go. And I'm not even picking up the brush. I'm just going to start blending. And I start real soft and just blend and blend. I never pick up my brush, but I can blend super soft. I don't have to push hard on the brush. Again, around the eyes, Oh, Sandra, I'm sorry too. Well, you can always, Sandra's on YouTube. You can always go back and replay it. So I'm going to go back in here, blend this a little bit. And keep going and blend and blend. I'm just going to go real light, but I like something in my crease, even though it's super light, just to give it, and it's matte, just to give it a little more depth. And because I wanted to do it light, that's why I started with the all over color first. But if you get it where it's like, oh, I kind of want it a little bit lighter, go back. You can go back with that all over color and kind of just brush it right on top, and it'll fade it a little bit. Just like that. All right. So now I can do something under the eyes if I wanted to. You know, I always like to do, oops, I'm using a flat eyeshadow brush. I always like to do eyeshadow. I think it's a softer look. With this look, because it is so light, you don't necessarily have to do it. You could try something new. You could try maybe some eyeliner just on the top, whether it's Temptation or our Persuasion eyeliner. You know what? Let's do that, because I haven't used those in a while. Which one is this? This one's the black. Well, maybe we'll use the brown Persuasion. So there is a timer. So Denise just said that her breeze just shuts off. If you leave it running while you're like putting makeup in and all that stuff, there is a timer. So it will go off sometimes. All right. So this is the Persuasion eyeliner. I'm just dragging it right at the lash line. Just tickling that lash line. Doing that will make when I do my mascara, will make my lashes look fuller. Now, also depending on the look you're going for, you can make the line thicker. You can cat it out. You can do anything with it. It's up to you. All right. So now I'm going to curl. Get my lash in there. Curl my lash, grab my mascara. Yes, light, like you can apply the light just to I think this one's almost out, to make it softer. Because a lot of times I just kind of go, I'm like, oh, maybe that's too soft. And then I'll go back and then blend it a little bit more with the brown and just play with it until you get it to right where you want it. All right, this is a new one. And then I'm adding and I'll do it just to one side, even if I'm just doing a little bit. It makes such a difference. Oh, you know what I did see the other day? They took, hold on, I'm gonna have to get my, usually I can just use the screen, but I'm gonna use them. They took their, and I don't necessarily like this because of stretching the eye, but they took this, stretched it. I think they stretched it up a little bit. Maybe I'll do it. That looks like I'm going crazy. And put the mascara on this way. And it really did make a difference. Like I really saw, because I tried that a couple of times this week. So they just took, see what a difference that makes as far as mascara goes. Then you can stretch that. And really get it deep in there, like at the base and work it up. But I really feel like this brush does a lot. Because of the shape of it, you can use the thicker end to get the mascara on, and then the thinner tip you can use to space out the lashes, or separate them, or get it all the way on the inside. And then now to finish this look, I'm just going to top it off with some lip jelly. And just do it like that. And that's all I'm going to do. Not even going to do a lip liner. But with our lip jellies, you can do lip liner and just the jelly. Oh, thank you, Debbie. So there, you can play with it. You can wear it by itself. It does feel like you ate some Red Hots. So there's a little bit of tingling to it. It is a plumper. Nothing major that you'll know. I mean, it feels amazing. And you'll forget about it, but it just feels like you ate Red Hots. And then you can do a liner, you can do lipstick, and then have this on top. So there's a lot of different ways that you can use it. But just a fresh face, and again, everybody's fresh face is going to be different. But the natural blush has a little bit of shimmer to it as well. So I don't have to add any more. I have my shimmer right there. So, hey, Zandra, so good to see you. All right, guys, that is it for this Monday morning after the holidays. Remember, tomorrow we are going to do half traditional, half airbrush, and kind of talk about that. And then we'll talk about the luminizers on Wednesday. All right. Well, I can't wait to see you, Denise. I'm looking forward to meeting you. Guys, it's so great to see you. I hope everybody had a wonderful holiday and getting ready for the new year. And I will see you soon. Bye for now.